Hey everyone, Kevin Benny back again. This week I want to talk about ways to play this instrument more in tune, how to play the saxophone more in tune. Definitely a feat in itself because there's not one saxophone on the market that plays perfectly in tune by itself. So we got to take it upon ourselves to really get the techniques together to adjust and be able to play these instruments in tune. Be sure to stick around at the end of the video because I want to share with everyone a PDF that I made specifically for saxophone intonation. If you get through this page, it's going to really give you a much better idea of the intonation on your instrument and how to adjust and everything. So in this video, I want to talk about mainly the sweet spot of where to put your mouthpiece on your cork. There's a lot of different concepts about this and where to place your mouthpiece on your instrument, but I'm just going to talk about what works for me and what I found really makes the instrument play to the best of its capabilities. So one concept that I used to use was to push the mouthpiece in quite a bit. I was probably with a millimeter left on the cork, and what this does is it makes the instrument inherently sharp, and you have to learn how to play in tune by just lipping down all your notes. And with the saxophone and reed instruments with a mouthpiece, it's much easier, or you have a lot more flexibility lipping the note down than lipping the note up, because if you lip the note up, you kind of hit a stopping point where that mouthpiece is going to pinch off the reed. Lipping down is a lot more flexibility. As I developed as a saxophonist, this concept or way of putting the mouthpiece in, I found my tone was starting to get a nasal quality. I found that lipping down all those notes, and some notes lipping down considerably, created a lot of pressure within the oral cavity, and it created this like nasal quality that to me I just didn't really like. And again, this is just my opinion with how my tone developed and how I hear my sound today. Plus, as my technique got better, especially going into the altissimo range, I found that the octaves were just not even. Like my low range would be relatively in tune, and then the next octave would be quite sharp, and then that third octave would be even exponentially more sharp. So it was like the more you push in, I found that exponentially the octaves became more uneven, and it made it hard to just play precisely throughout the entire range of the instrument. So I implemented the concept where you put the mouthpiece on the cork where the octaves are as even as possible, or feel as even as possible. And what I mean by this is I want to be able to play all the notes on the instrument in tune with as little movement as possible and as comfortable as possible. So here we go with how to find that sweet spot on your cork, or the relative sweet spot where you're going to want to put your mouthpiece on that cork. First, you want to check the intonation tendencies of every note on your horn. So this may take a while. Whip out a tuner. The first note you're going to want to tune to will be a middle B, not a middle G or a middle F sharp. Those notes actually tend to ride a little sharp from what I've been taught. The B is a much more acoustically sound centered note to tune to on the saxophone. So get the B in tune, adjust your mouthpiece to make sure that thing is in tune. Then you're just gonna wanna check every note and its intonation tendencies with that tuner. Take it a step further, and I highly recommend this, and actually mark down on a piece of paper what notes ride flat or sharp and how many cents they ride flat or sharp. For beginners, I would stick to any notes, mark down any notes that are maybe 10 cents or more flat or sharp, and mark those down. For intermediates, I would say you could stick around 5 cents, mark down what notes are 5 cents or sharp. More than 5 cents sharp or more than 5 cents flat, mark those down. You're gonna find that every note is gonna be all over the place, and that's completely normal, so don't get discouraged or anything, because again, these instruments don't play in tune, so that's perfectly normal. Usually you'll find, your low E flat, your low D, your low C sharp are gonna be pretty flat. Your middle C sharp will be quite flat usually. Then your middle D is gonna be sharp. Your middle E flat will be sharp. Your high C sharp and all your palm keys are probably gonna be all sharp, and those are the normal intonation tendencies of most saxophones. So getting to the sweet spot on your cork here, what you want to do is take the sharpest note that you have on your instrument and the flattest note you have on your instrument. For me, my flattest note on my instrument is a low D, and the sharpest note, or relatively sharpest note on my instrument, is a high C sharp. Didn't try it out. That's okay. Now what you're gonna wanna do is play these notes back to back from each other with the tuner and make sure they're in tune with as little movement as possible. So we're gonna know that your flattest note, you're gonna wanna lip up a little bit, and then your sharpest note, you're gonna wanna lip down. You're gonna need pretty good control of your embouchure and the voicing muscles, meaning you're gonna need to be pretty good at bending the pitch up and down with your embouchure muscles. Now my instrument, that low D is the flattest note, so I know I'm gonna wanna lip that note up a little bit to get it in tune. Now I'm not lipping up a lot. This is a very slight motion because again, you don't have too much room until that tone will get pinched off. So you still wanna focus on a full sound. So here we go. I'll try my low D, see where I'm at. I have a tuner in front of me, by the way. Okay, that was pretty good. I felt pretty normal. I don't think I had to lip up too much, but let's try my high C sharp, which is the sharpest note, and see where that is. Okay, so I had to lip down a little more than I usually do. So since that low D felt fine, and I didn't really have to do much to it, I know I can pull out a little bit, and my low D would just, if I lip it up, it will be in tune now. And my C sharp, I won't have to struggle so much to keep that in tune, or lip down as much to keep that in tune. So here we go again. Let's try that low D. Okay, good. And I felt a little bit of that lipping up. Now let's try the C sharp. Good, so that felt good. So now you want to do it back to back with the tuner, making sure it's in tune comfortably. There you go. At first, with this exercise, you might not really know where you are in relative to like how your embouchure is set for any particular note, if that makes sense. But if you find, you play your sharpest note and you're just like, man, I don't like the sound that I'm getting. I feel like I'm lipping down way too much, but you feel you're very comfortable with that flattest note, well then, pull out a little bit, and you may be surprised as you keep playing that flattest note will actually still be in tune. Because what I find is when you start to find that sweet spot on the neck, your octaves are coming like more together, meaning like the intonation is kind of lining up. Like you're putting the mouthpiece on the cork where your instrument was designed for you to put that mouthpiece. Now you also might find that your flattest note, you might just really have a hard time getting that thing in tune. It just rides too flat, even if you're pushed in quite a bit. That's when you're gonna wanna look into using a stiffer reed, a stronger setup. So if you have any questions about your reed or your setup or your mouthpiece combination, email me or you can comment in the comments below. I love helping people with their setup, and I'll kind of help you diagnose some of the issues you may be having if it's your setup that's the problem. So that's the simplest way to find that sweet spot on the instrument. Now that PDF I talked about in the beginning of the video, labeled Sax Intonation, kind of draws from that technique that I just showed you, but it goes to the entire range of the instrument, and it really, after doing this, it's gonna really make your idea of your saxophone and the intonation tendencies and the feeling of where things should be a lot better and more honed in. So if you wanna get a hold of this, just click on the link in the description below. It's completely free. I start with just a part that you work on with the tuner, but then even better, I deal with working with tuning drones, and tuning drones is an even better way to work on intonation because it starts with your ear and it gets you to be able to hear if you're in tune or not. You can find tuning drones on YouTube, every pitch and everything. I'll do another video demonstrating how to use this, so be sure to subscribe so you get a gist of this, and be sure to get a hold of this. Again, just click that link in the description below and I'll get this over to you as soon as possible. Again, thanks so much everyone for watching the video. Really appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Coca. Coca? Coca? Oh. Oh my goodness. You're on camera. Ugh. This is Coca. Say hello. Okay.